2 balls, 2 strikes to Bryce Harper. Suarez delivers. Swing and a drive, left field. It's deep. It's going,
yes!
And it is gone!
Yes!
It is bedlam at the bank as Bryce Harper has put the Phillies on top.
Are you kidding me? Oh,
his 10th career home run in the postseason. And he may never hit a bigger one.
Oh. Wow.
4-3 Phillies in the bottom of the 8th inning.
It's crazy. Crazy. Worth every penny of that contract just for that.
Sean, greatest intro we've had. Don't give me a copyright strike for that, please, anyone. But wow. I mean, wow, Sean. Stupid Money, it's been more or less completed at this point, I would say. What we named this podcast after has come through. All the stupid money spent has put us in this position. And somehow, some way, the once 21-29 Philadelphia Phillies are going to the World Series. I didn't see it in June. I didn't see it the way they played in September at times. And then, I thought they were going to win the wild card round, but then destroying the Braves and then destroying the Padres. I mean, this has been the run of the century for the Phillies.
Yeah. It doesn't feel real. It
No.
Really, it feels like I'm playing like a video game pretty much, if that makes sense. I've never seen, a guy hit that home run for us.
Right.
In the biggest game of his life. I mean, it's speechless right now. The last 11 years for us, we've been just thinking about off-season plans at this stage of our of the year.
Yeah.
We're thinking about football. We're thinking about free agents for the Phillies. We're thinking about basketball somewhat, but we're back.
Yeah.
Holy shit! You wanted everybody. I wanted everybody traded, and the last week.
Yeah.
And now these are our guys, and I love them. We adore them.
Yeah. It's funny because it's been everyone, I guess, at a time. Marsh had the big 3-run home run in the NLDS game. Segura has more or less had 2 game-winning hits. Stott has seemed to put together the most clutch. And the numbers aren't really there, RBI and home run wise, but he's put together probably 2 or 3 of the most clutch at bats of this postseason for them. And then it's been Schwarber, Hoskins, Harper, Realmuto just pouring it on. And, those guys are playing up to their potential. I don't know. Castellanos, we'll see. Will he ever hit a home run again? I don't know. But it's been everyone doing a little bit of something. It's been, Zach Wheeler just being dominant. It's been Ranger Suarez coming in to get the 2 biggest outs of his career. It's been Sosa coming in and pinch running and playing good defense and late in games. It's been Vierling doing the same thing. It has been a group effort, from everyone outside of probably Brad Hand. I would say they're playing as a team, and it's everyone, and that's what I think is making them hard to stop. Is yes, Harper had the moment of his life and is playing maybe the best baseball he's ever played, at least over a 11 game stretch. It looks like the best stretch he's ever had of that amount of games, but it's been everyone, and it's been Reese too, which, the guy we always called the career loser, which I don't think we were wrong in saying that. I think every gripe we had was correct. but he's made up for them. And he's, talking himself and playing himself into not only getting a ring, but then being here, long term, longer than maybe we envisioned or even hoped for at a point. But it's just been crazy to watch everything that we seem to have a problem with during the regular season in the last 4 or 5 years. Like the opposites happen now in the playoffs.
They're overcoming every single mistake that they make.
Yeah.
And it's something that like we've seen since the Gabe era, that like any error, any like fuck up in the field or whatnot, it crumbles, and it just it turns into 2 runs and 3 runs, and then all of a sudden they're down 6 when they have like a 2-run lead. It's just, and like we kind of had like that kind of like a taste in game 2 against the Padres, that like, one mistake just turns into like, it snowballs into like multiple.
Yeah, the one game was bad. Yeah.
Yeah. That was like a great taste of like, yeah, we've seen this. That they're the same guys, but like they're really just overcoming everything though. Like other than that game, it's insane. Like the Alec Boehm error in, what was that, game 1 of the series, or was that even last series? I forget. But like they overcame that. Like I've seen this team time and time again, just screw that up and give us that run, and then all of a sudden they lose in the extra innings.
Well, I mean, even yesterday with Dominguez, the ball literally slipping out of his hand, and even maybe Thompson not making the best decision to pull Wheeler when he looked comfortable with the conditions, all that stuff. The manager moved the reliever's performance was made up for, and that's not something we're accustomed to around here. I guess is the best way to put it. Is that when they, like Rhys Hoskins, the 3-run error that still hasn't been charged an error that I don't know how in the Braves game. And then he comes back the next game and hits a 3-run home run. It just seems like every player, everything that they've done wrong, the same guy or someone else is picking them up, has made up for it. Like it's been crazy to watch, and I'm not sure the confidence has ever been this high with them. And I don't know, forever, like ever.
No, I mean, it's a, like you said in the beginning, it's a complete team effort, and it's a team of destiny. And like we've seen this time and time again, and baseball for playoffs. Yeah, it's like we saw like these teams that like they'd come together, and then all of a sudden they're having a parade.
Yeah, I mean, look, it happened to the Phillies twice, 2010, 2011. They lost to that team. When they looked like the best team, kind of like the Braves or the Mets did, or the Dodgers. And then it was, 2019, the Nationals in a very similar spot to the Phillies. I think they were 19-31 or something. And then the Braves last year, who weren't over 500 until the middle of August or something. And then they go on these runs where everything just clicks, and it's the right group of guys. Maybe it's not the most talented group of guys, but it's the group that gels the best, complements each other the best. And right now, that's what it looks like the Phillies have. They have those teams, and I mean, maybe ironically or unironically, those Nats and Braves teams played the Astros in the World Series, and here we are, kind of deja vu part 3, and NL East team is getting hot at the right time, and they get to play the Astros in the World Series.
Oh, I know. I like every single Mets fan on Twitter right now is just like, they're gonna really do this again. The team in this division is gonna beat the Astros.
I hope. I mean,
it's gonna happen again. Like, oh, dude, just the Mets meltdowns are just it's just it's better than any form of candy. It's the greatest feeling. It's like seeing Mets fans just like cry. You see like all these like the Grom edits for him in that Dodgers uniform and that Cardinals uniform today, and like Mets fans are just like having a panic attack. Oh, it's gonna be great.
I mean, we will hope. It's really hard to bet against this team right now. I know. Look, the Astros are 7-0 in the playoffs. They ran through a team in the Mariners that, I don't know, is the AL version of the Phillies, maybe. And then, I don't think the Yankees are good, but, they crushed them. And, they pitched Garrett Cole. too, and they still swept them. So I mean, you have to give them something there for that. That is very impressive. But this is a Phillies team that's only lost twice, playing a lot more games than the Astros have. And really, two of their losses, one was because of an error, and the other was, I don't know, Nola got the shits against his brother. Like, I don't know. Like,
yeah.
So it's not like the Phillies have been outplayed, most times in these playoffs. They've looked like the better team in, I don't know, maybe every game except that one Padres game. So, it could happen here. Like, I don't know. The Astros pitching is deep, but the Phillies went up against Fried and those right from the Braves and won. They went up against Darvish twice and
the Phillies have been
and Musgrove. Yeah,
they've been battle tested. Like I do not fear Justin Verlander really at all. I mean, it's weird to say, it is, but like look at his stats in the World Series. It is not good at all. He's got like a 5.9 ERA. He's 0-4. It's a disgrace. And like he's probably pitching game one, probably against Nola, maybe Wheeler. I don't know what they're gonna do yet with the rotation. But like, if they steal game one, it's gonna be a party again at the bank.
I mean, look, let's be honest. They're 5-0 at home in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, dude.
They are hitting the crap out of the ball at home. Like, it's not even close.
They are feeding off of all the energy from the fans, and it's just oozing out of them. Like, everybody's just hitting too. Like, I mean, you're saying Castellanos is not having a good series. I think he's playing fine.
I didn't say he was having a bad series. I just said, is he ever going to hit a home run again?
Oh, okay. Yeah, you did say that. Everybody's just shitting on Castellanos. I'm like, he's batting .220 in the playoffs. He's playing decent defense. Like, he won us a game in Atlanta. Like,
they haven't been subbing him out with defense.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I like Schwarber better in the field, but maybe like the knee injury, they don't want to push it.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Probably. It's got to be.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, I think Castellanos been fine. He's got to really wake up. I think this series. I think the Astros are not going to be pitching at Harper really at all.
No.
So, yeah, but I got no complaints with the lineup at all, and that's really what I want to get into. Like, we have won it. Reese moved out of the 2-hole for a while.
Yeah,
and it's like the one thing that I've always wanted, though, is just consistent lineups. And it's one thing that I hated about Joe Girardi. Right. Because, like, Schwarber's batting like 6th this year just to like break up the lefties and whatnot. And I hated that because, like, yeah, Schwarber, it would be awesome if you could just bat him, and it would be awesome if you could just bat Schwarber right behind Harper, but you can't because he's left.
Right.
So, like, just put him the 1-hole. He's like the best 1-hole hitter, maybe Stott. And, like, just let them figure it out. And here we are. Like, don't change the lineup at all. The only changes you make is when, like, a lefty's on the mound, you take out Stott and Marsh. That's it. Yeah. It's just consistent baseball. They're going to figure it out. They're too good to not figure it out. And here we are. We're in the World Series.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing, like you brought up, they're not going to pitch to Harper. Do you think about moving Reese to 4 then to protect Harper? I know you don't want to mess with it, but it's something that if through 2 games Harper gets nothing to hit, yeah, I think maybe you think about it. If it's through 2 games and it's a problem.
If Harper gets nothing to hit and Castellanos doesn't get any hits or whatnot, just keep rolling the lineup over. What's broke, it got you here. This lineup got you here because Bohm hit Castellanos home. Stott hit Castellanos home on a double too. Yeah, yesterday. Like it's just keep it the same. Just keep it the same.
All right. I think the point I made about the Padres, that I felt like their World Series was the Dodgers. I think that was kind of what happened. I don't want to say they played bad, but like outside of like Juan Soto hitting 2 home runs in the last 2 games of that series, like no one on that offense showed up. Like, I don't know if Trent Grisham hit a ball out of the infield. Him bunting in that situation against the best fielding pitcher in baseball was the most hysterical thing I've ever seen. I couldn't believe he did that. I was shocked. Like, if it was
Yeah.
tied and there was no outs, okay. But, like, what the hell was that? That was so weird. He was bad.
I think his reasoning was this guy doesn't know these field conditions and it's like drenched.
Yeah.
So hopefully maybe he slips coming out or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what he was thinking. Like, he wasn't gonna get hit anyway.
Yeah.
Lefty versus lefty, like
Mm-hmm.
good luck. He couldn't hit like a beach ball anyway. So I don't mind the try for him. Obviously, you know, with one out with two guys on, not the greatest look. I don't know how you don't have like a pinch hitter for him, like Will Myers. Like, what are we thinking? No,
Yeah, Will Myers played in game 1 or whatever, and then disappeared the rest of the series. I don't know what that was.
I'll take Will Myers on the bench.
Not for that much money, but
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, give me some cash.
yeah, I mean, he wasn't even supposed to be there. Remember, they didn't even want him there.
Yeah, that's true. They wanted to trade him with Hosmer.
Yeah. So, you know, the Padres in the past, their stupid ass songs and all the shit their fan base does. I was glad to beat. I thought their atmosphere sucked too, by the way. I found myself continually turning up the volume when we played in San Diego because I was like waiting to hear something from the crowd, and just like, you know, like the Phillies fans were up and cheered. They, like, in a way, they created the big moments. You know what I mean? Like, they were always clapping and stuff. It seemed like the Padres crowd was more of a reactionary one, or like they waited for something to happen to be loud. You know what I'm saying? Like the Phillies one was just loud throughout the whole game and was like kind of forcing the issue in a way. And I felt like it was a totally different vibe between the two places, and the Phillies took advantage of it in a big way. And I don't know what you're gonna get with Houston. I mean, they're used to going to the World Series down there. I don't think the energy is nearly the same, but I think it'll be better than San Diego because I just think that was, you know, a kind of a lazy fan base that had no idea what they were doing, because, like, I don't think any of them have ever experienced like a deep playoff game before like that. So we'll see with that. But I mean, Hector Neris, we got to talk about this. Because I'm going to forget. I can't, like, the way this has come. Hector Neris left the Phillies, and everyone was like, "Good for you, Hector. I hope you finally go to like a contender or something." And here they are playing each other in the World Series. That is funny. The fact that Girardi and Gregorius and Herrera and Familia could get rings is funny.
Moniak too.
Yeah, I mean, that's not funny. I mean, good for him, I guess. But like,
wow.
Yeah, I meant it more as like, no,
Yeah.
like these guys don't deserve that or whatever. But you know, there's a lot of interesting storylines here that I like. Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be a wild series. You know, Verlander is like really bad in the World Series, isn't he? His ERA is like almost,
I was saying that. I just said that.
Yeah, his ERA is like almost 6. Yeah,
he's awful, and he's probably going to pitch game 1. I don't know what they're going to do with the Phillies rotation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you give like Wheeler an extra day of rest, so you start him game 2. I don't know what you do, and if you line up the whole thing with Nola starting game 1, then he starts game 5 in Philly, and he hasn't been really that good in Philly. Or has he? No, he has been good in Philly. So
no, his blow up was in San Diego.
San Diego, yeah. So yeah, I guess start Nola game 1. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it matters. I think just in any order, you make sure those guys have 2 games to pitch. To me, the order does not matter. I think the one benefit of Wheeler maybe being game 1 is he could maybe be available in the bullpen if we get to a game 7. If he pitches game 5, like if he pitches game 6, that probably doesn't happen. You know what I mean? Like that's just the one benefit, because to me, Wheeler is 100% more of a bullpen guy than Nola, just because he throws harder.
Yeah.
So
I hated those tweets with like, "Do you dare pitch Nola out of the pen?" Like, no.
I was not.
Nola's like a worse version of Zach Eflin in the pen, because he's got like no elite stuff at all. His elite stuff is his command. That's what Nola's stuff is. Like he's got 1+ pitch and he throws a 94-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah. So I don't Nola's the one. You know, obviously Ranger. John Smoltz. It was so funny. I guess he didn't realize that Ranger was like the closer for half a year for the Phillies because he's like, I don't know how this starter is going to handle this situation. You know, at the back of the closing out the game or whatever. I'm like, yeah, you have no idea what the hell you're talking about. I was like, this is like the one guy I'll gladly put out there, the most even keel dude on the team. So yeah, that was just a side thing that bothered me. But yeah, that to me, that's the one thing about Wheeler one is that if you get to a game 7, you could put him in if you needed to. I guess that's just the one thing. Now, look, I don't think they're gonna game plan around that at all, but I just think it's one thing to keep in mind.
I don't think the Phillies have ever played in a game 7.
I don't know.
They definitely haven't won a game 7. I don't know if it's I don't know if the stat is they never played in a game 7 or never won a game 7. But a thought of game 7 is like terrifying to me. So don't want to think about it.
No, I mean, don't want to think about it.
I almost broke my cup. I was drinking like hot chocolate during the game yesterday. I almost broke my cup. I forget what situation, but like we were up 3-1 and I almost broke my cup. I could not do a game 7 at all. Like every pitch, I'm gonna be like fuming.
Yeah, no, it would not go well at all. I just couldn't imagine.
You'd think like we would be like used to like these high leverage like after watching this Phillies bullpen the last 3 years, but like no, playoff baseball is a completely different beast.
It is, and I mean, look, like you can lose a couple games, but like after like that Padres loss, like I was like so down. Like I don't know, there was a lot of unknown with that, I guess, just so we didn't know how Ranger was going to look, and then the whole bullpen game in game 4. And look, Ranger was great, and then the offense made up for the bullpen game. So it was kind of the best case scenario there, honestly.
That bullpen game is hilarious. Absolutely.
I only watched the top of the 9th. That was all I saw.
Why? Oh yeah, you were at the game.
I was at
I was at a wedding.
Okay.
And there was no TV, but I was watching on my phone, which the phone, this is another thing, completely different. The phone is more in sync than live cable. It's like 10 seconds faster. Watching on my phone, it's faster by 10 seconds. It's not even like 1. First of all, how the hell is that possible? Like,
I used to always say my cable in State College was like 30 seconds behind my cable at home.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, like that's really bad. So
I'm like, I was watching the game and then I ended up finding a TV, and it was live TV. It wasn't like YouTube TV or whatever. It was Xfinity cable, whatever.
Right.
And my phone's 10 seconds faster. Like I know what every single pitch is, and like JT's throwing the ball back, and like
that's funny.
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I got you. I've been
Makes me want to like cancel cable.
All right. I mean, if you want to, sure. I don't care. But getting off task here, obviously. Oh man. It really doesn't feel real. I guess we're not used to this feeling for a while. This run has just been kind of shocking. I guess is the best way to put it. I did not think they were going to beat the Braves, honestly. Now, look, I thought they were going to beat the Padres then because I thought they were better. I thought they were better than the Padres. But when you're saying, "Oh, I think they're going to beat the Padres," I don't think in the back of your mind, you're like, "Yeah, they beat them to go to the World Series." You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like I wasn't thinking that deep into it. It's just like it's a series and they're playing the Padres, and yeah, they're better than the Padres. I think they're going to beat them. That was kind of where I was at. Like.
I honestly think that like that's their mindset too. Like it's just a series.
Yeah.
Like first one to 4.
Yeah.
I'm here. Let's do it.
Yeah. I mean, that has to be the mindset too. I mean, and look, you're playing the most World Series season team out there that there can be. I don't think no active players have played in more World Series games than like some of these Astro dudes right now, like Verlander, Altuve, Bregman. Like these guys have been around. This is their 4th World Series they're gonna play in. Yeah, this is not. I would have rather played the Yankees, obviously, but that was not going to happen. But what's lining up? Like I said, the red hot NL East team beats the Astros. That's what we're going with here, and we'll see. Because outside of Verlander, a lot of those Astros pitchers are kind of new to this.
Yeah, McCullers missed a year or two, maybe even.
They had Greinke, and they had like Musgrove was on 1 or 2 of those teams, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so it's kind of a new pitching staff for them in a sense for some of these. I know a couple of them pitched last year, but I don't know. It's a little different. We'll see. Pena, first World Series for him.
He's a beast.
Yeah. I think though Alvarez is the guy that you just stay away from at all costs.
Yeah. I'm absolutely terrified of Jordan. Don't want to pitch to him at all. But
yeah, the Mariners found that out the hard way. But they're like the Phillies though. It's been a little bit of everybody. It's a deep lineup. They could beat you in a lot of different ways because they could hit the home run, but they could also, like the Phillies, steal some bases and get some slap hits and that kind of stuff. But I was watching a kind of a review of the NLCS. It was Ballcap Sports on YouTube. I don't know if you ever watched that, but he was pretty much saying he's like the Yankees lineup is just a terrible matchup with the Astros pitching because it's so much swing and miss guys. No one has an approach. He's like the guys who have an approach on the Yankees were hurt, Benintendi and LeMahieu. He's like the Phillies are different because Harper can have an at-bat. Schwarber can have an at-bat. Bohm can have an at-bat. Stock can have an at-bat. Segura knows how to foul off pitches. What he was getting at is the Phillies are more grinders than the Yankees were, and it's a tougher matchup. So, I think that's something to keep in mind. It could be. We'll see. But, they got to get these pitch counts up. I feel like the Astros bullpen is also good, but I think you'd rather face taxed bullpen arms than starters at this point.
Yeah, I think that's like the one advantage the Astros have is like the bullpen. But it's like pretty much the same thing like we're saying from last series. Like everybody was saying the lineups are pretty much equal. I mean, I would have taken the Phillies lineup over the Padres, but I would also take the Padres pitching over the Phillies pitching. But like the difference was like the Padres had like elite arms that like we barely even saw. Like,
Hater one game.
Hater did not pitch yesterday is insane. Bob Melvin should be fired immediately for that. Like what the
Bob Melvin not realizing that game was won or lost in the 8th inning is just hysterical to me. I mean, look, he gets through Harper, who's red hot, Castellanos, who's pretty clutch, and then Bohm. Like, no offense, but like Segura and Marsh were pretty much struggling. So all he has to pretty much do in the 9th is get Stott out, and he probably wins that game. So him not realizing that the 8th inning was the 9th inning definitely helped the Phillies, I feel like. Obviously, I was so shocked that he did not pitch to Harper. But, that's kind of what, I don't know. That's what makes it feel like destiny, the fact that didn't happen, The fact that Stott getting a walk in game 1 of the wild card round forced the Cardinals to bring in a half-injured closer for way more than he could do at that point, and it forced him to implode. And like all these little weird things have happened. That
Castellanos hitting the bag.
I saw that hitting the bag,
that
and also
never happens. That never happens.
Also, him actually looking like an actual defender in game 1 of the NLDS, making that crazy diving catch. Like stuff that just doesn't happen was happening. And, like Hoskins not looking overmatched, not happening. Like all the stuff that we were used to or thought could happen just isn't happening.
Yeah, and we got to bring up Stott too. Like the guy's a rookie, and
Mm-hmm.
he's like the guy I like have the most confidence in behind like Harper and I guess maybe Schwarber at the bat right now. He's a rookie in the playoffs at shortstop, the only good defender on the team in the infield, and he's just perfect at everything. Like he's walking, he's hitting balls down the gaps, both sides.
I thought he hit a home run yesterday.
Oh, I know. I think that ball's in the seats if that's like June or July.
Yeah,
just like, I don't think
even the day before. I feel like
yeah, he had a few that I thought were like definitely like second row in June.
Right. Yeah, and people are surprised, I guess, that the Phillies made the World Series. So a lot of people outside of Philadelphia that are surprised by it. You can't look at their final record, in my opinion, and say 87 wins, last wild card team, like shouldn't be here. They have the third best record in the majors, right? It's majors, not just the NL. Either way, since Thompson took over, like they were playing like a top 5 team in baseball once the manager change happened, and the majority of that was without Harper. So for people to be
and Segura,
right. And Wheeler missed some time too. So for people to say that, oh, I can't believe this team got in. It's such BS. This 6 seed got in. Look, they're not this. They were not the 6 seed. They were, but they weren't a 6 seed. This was a team that was clearly a lot better than the record indicated because of how much things changed once the manager change happened. And that's what to look at. And it's really funny that they were 12th in the power rankings of 12 teams in the playoffs when I thought they were better. I thought if we put them in a 7-game series against the other 11 teams, I think they probably would have beaten 7 of them. So, I thought that was funny. And they're just proving a lot of people wrong. And I think that's what they want to do. And, I said, I wish they were playing like the Yankees or or the Guardians who suck or whatever. But them playing a team that's looked at as a lot better than them is probably what they want. They want to go in there and just go balls to the walls because that's what they've been doing. For how bad that Cardinals team was, no one was really giving them a chance there. And then the Braves were hot. They won the division. They weren't getting a chance there. And then the Padres just beat the Dodgers. Everyone was on them. And they've just kind of been quietly humming along, going through. And that's what I think benefits these teams is when people don't expect them. People don't maybe take them seriously. And that's when you could bite them.
Yeah. Everybody on like Twitter that isn't a Phillies fan is pretty much complaining about like the CBA, about how, 6 teams got in and the Phillies wouldn't even be there, about the CBA this year. I think
also the DH and Harper. I mean, the CBA has really helped the Phillies.
I know. I was also going to bring up. Thanks, Alec.
Yeah, sorry. You sounded like you were moving on.
Thank God for the 11-day lockout because, we wouldn't have Harper. We wouldn't be in the playoffs. We'd be talking about signing Xander Bogaerts. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Rather have this. But what I was getting to is
destiny.
This is like an argument to have the 6-game playoff, for each conference, because good teams like the Phillies, they're good. Look at their roster.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the payroll. They're good.
Mm-hmm.
And they deserve to get in.
Right.
And here they are doing that. And it's good for baseball that you can have that flexibility. I think 5 teams getting in, I think 4 teams getting in previous to that was just crazy because the baseball season's so long. And if you lose one pitcher, one batter, you're going to lose more games than what you should. And then if you get them back, you're still the same team. You should be in the playoffs. What this team's doing right now. I think it's good for baseball.
Yeah, and even it puts more teams in the race too. Look at Baltimore down the stretch. People were going to their games. People were excited to watch the Orioles because of the 6th playoff team. They had a chance, and it puts more butts in seats in September, which for a lot of teams is hard to do because they're out of it, and it puts more teams in it. And even if they don't make it, it gives their team and their fans optimism for next year. And it adds to the sport because more teams are in it, more people are interested. So I don't think it hurts at all. I want to go more than 6. I think the format they have now is good and should be final. But, I don't think it's bad at all.
No, I hate that everybody's saying that. And obviously, the Phillies doing this first year, they're doing this too with the 6 teams. Like, obviously I'm going to say this, but like, if this was any team, like the Mets, for instance, hate them, absolutely hate them. But like, they lost DeGrom. They could have lost Scherzer for a while. Like they kind of survived that. Like, they deserve to get in the playoffs. And like, God forbid they went on like a terrible run for like two months or whatnot. They still deserve to get in the playoffs if like Scherzer and DeGrom came back. Like, I want to see that. I want to see like the best of baseball play. So like, this is perfect for baseball.
It is. I agree. It is. It is perfect, and it is helping the Phillies. And it just seems like everything that's happened this year has helped the Phillies somehow. I mean, it's weird. It's been weird. I don't know. For everything that's gone wrong during the regular season, it has seemed to right itself incredibly well here in the playoffs, and that's really all you ask for. And I don't know, the vibe is just good. Like, you talk about, I don't know if you saw like Castellanos gave the ball from the final out to Harper. He's like, this is your moment or whatever. Like, that's also Castellanos like growing too. Like he was on a bunch of losers for a lot of years, and he's kind of understanding winning now. And I feel like a lot of these guys are on the fly, and it's working. So it's just awesome to see kind of them grow too from, the playoff clinching celebration, which happened in Houston. I guess the Astros might regret letting us win that game now. I'm not saying they let us win, but that would be awesome. Yeah. I'd love to see have 2 teams ever played each other the last week of the last game of the year and then matched up in the World Series like that. That's really
Probably
interesting.
Not.
Yeah, no,
Probably
that's
not.
really interesting. There's also something about the fact that yesterday a guy named Suarez blew the save, and then a guy named Suarez got the save in a playoff game. I doubt that hasn't happened much either. So like, there's just a lot of weird, cool things going on right now that like, if you pay attention, it's a lot of fun. And that's kind of what we're seeing right now. Like, Schwarber hitting an almost 500-foot home run, and I don't know. It's just been fun. It's been fun.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been loose. It's like having confidence in guys that like we're just not used to this. We're not. We haven't seen this since you and I were in 4th grade. Like, I don't. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I guess it was in 4th grade because they were good in 2011 too. So
yeah, so like 6th grade. Yeah, but still, that's half a life ago, honestly.
Oh my God.
It is crazy. It is fun. Dude, the Astros are a very good team. And a lot of people's hearts are going to be with the Phillies, but a lot of their money is going to be with the Astros. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I can't pick against them at this point. Like,
I can't. You can't.
I can't. I don't know, 6 or 7. I don't really care. Like, I'm not going to get fancy and pick how many games it happens in. We got bold. We picked the Phillies in 2 over the Cardinals. That was on the money. I picked the Braves in 5 because I was worried about the bullpen game, and the Phillies played great in the bullpen game that series. And then
I thought we both picked Phillies in 5, but like we were both like, they're probably not going to win. I'm pretty sure we both.
No, I did that one by myself. You weren't here.
Oh.
This past one, we picked Phils in 6, I think, both of us.
Yeah.
And it didn't even get to 6. So I'm not worried about how many games it takes at this point. There's no style points for that shit right now. It's just win 4. I mean, they obviously, this is the most obvious thing ever. They have to win 1 in Houston. Like, clearly. If they somehow win both with Wheeler and Nola, I mean, oh my God. Like, they come back to Philly with a 2-0 lead. I don't care who the hell's – we could put who's been dog shit over the years? Like Velasquez. We could put Velasquez out there in game 3 and like he would somehow go like 6 innings, 2 runs just because
That's how this is going.
yeah.
I agree. It's just weird. Man. Like
Yes.
anybody but Falter, pretty much.
I guess. Yeah, that thankfully I missed that. I'm gonna be very glad I missed that. I think it has to be. I think Syndergaard right now is your most effective 4. I don't know if that's saying much, but it's the truth. And
He's been fine.
yeah, I know, but that's I think
He's
the one
honestly
thing.
he's pitching at a rate where I kind of want him back.
All right, we'll see.
It's getting weird. Like I don't know.
I think he likes being here. Like you saw his reactions in the bullpen when Harper hit the home run and stuff. Like obviously all these guys are enjoying winning because as we've beat to death, a lot of these dudes are from losers. Okay, like Marsh played on the Angels, Castellanos played on crappy Tigers and Reds teams. Yeah, I could just go down the list. Segura never made the playoffs. Real Muto never made the playoffs. It goes on and on. You know,
Bryce
Wheeler
never won a playoff series.
Yeah, Wheeler was hurt the year the Mets made their run. Yeah.
Syndergaard was good on that team.
But yeah, like in general, like these are a bunch of guys that are not used to this, and now they're getting to enjoy it, and it's working. And I'm just riding with the underdog, tight group thing over the Astros, business as usual, which is what they're probably looking at this as. And I know with Dusty Baker, it's a little different vibe for them, but I think, push comes to shove. I'm going to go because I've seen the past couple World Series now where the Astros played business as usual and got crushed by a team that was just vibing like crazy. So that's what I'm going with.
Yeah, I'll go Phils in 5. Fuck it.
I
might bet on it though.
Oh dear God! All right, so you'll put the number out there. All right, that's fine. I'm not putting the number out there because I don't care. I really don't care. I don't care if it takes 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days later because of a blizzard. Like I don't care. Like I just make it happen some way, somehow. I really don't care how.
You know what's really cool? If they do go to a game 6, Game 6 going to be like a lot of Eagles fans. I mean, a lot of Phillies fans.
Right.
Because the Eagles are playing in Houston.
The day before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is that, and that's another thing to add into all these weird things that is going on with this and all the little cool storylines there's been. And that's why it feels, I don't know, like you're just betting against something that's inedible at this point.
Yeah. Against the Cardinals, the Phillies are playing the Cardinals. The Eagles were playing the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty weird. Like this stuff is like, it's like out of a book. Like Bryce Harper hitting a 2-run home run to put the Phillies up.
He ended the season of the team that we thought ended his season. Yes. Okay, like all the weird shit that has gone on in these playoffs has just been, and how many times have we suffered through the Braves just kicking the shit out of us for the last 10 years. And then we get to give it back to them in the playoffs. Like there's just been so many cool things that have happened and it just all feels like it's planned in a way.
All right. Here's the prediction.
All right.
Phil's in 5. They hit a walk-off off of Hector Neris. That's just like right off.
That's like the ultimate. Yeah.
This match, Joe Girardi is covering the game for who the hell does he work for now?
I don't think he works for anybody right now.
Oh, okay. Well, MLB Network hires him back, and he's got to break down the game too.
Yeah. Okay. Oh. All right.
Weird.
I mean,
could you imagine that?
I know that would be the ultimate ending to this craziness. That
who hits the walk-off off him? Is it JT after having to deal with all of his bullshit?
It could be. I wish it was the freaking dude he rolled his eyes at. That would just make it.
Yeah.
perfect.
Is that Heath
No,
Henry?
no, it's the God. We always talk about this. We never
Yeah,
remember
I
his
know.
name. We look
I
it
don't
up.
know.
No, I don't know, but
All right.
it doesn't matter.
Uh,
But yeah, man, let's ride with it.
I'm thinking about it right now, man. Like, I could just see like them just hitting a tank to win the series off of Hector Neris. Oh my god.
That'd be crazy.
You got anything else?
No, I mean I'm ready to go. I can't wait for Friday. I'm a little nervous, but I don't think it's set in totally like what this is yet. That it is the World Series, and we've been awful for 11 years, and then we just pop up in the World Series. It's funny, I guess, but
I'm still not even like nervous at all. Like it's just I don't know if it's because like I didn't expect to be here. I don't know if it's because like it still doesn't feel real. I don't know if it's like they're playing with house money. Like I'm happy no matter what happens. I don't
yeah,
know. I don't know
I
if it's
think
gonna be by Friday, but like I'm not nervous at all. Like I'm just
yeah,
like just do what you've been doing.
yeah. The one thing I like though is that they at least won the pennant because those teams at least like everybody talks about the '93 team which didn't win the World Series, obviously. But now I'm like glad that this team gets to like be remembered in that same, even if they don't win the World Series, like people are still gonna remember this team and like the way they played like this in the playoffs, like it's still gonna be celebrated. And like
Yeah.
to me, that was like the big thing about winning the NLCS.
Yeah, and like no matter what happens, like still on the take. Like this is the worst team for a while. Like
I mean, hey,
it might not
yeah,
be the same result. Like we might be losing the
no,
NLCS or
right?
whatnot.
They're not gonna
But
win 10
like
straight World Series.
I think the roster next year is gonna be a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like I don't want to get into this because talking about the offseason just feels like bad
Yeah,
juju
we're
right
not doing
now. No, but yeah, uh, I mean, yeah, I hope so, and I think with the way Middleton seems to be enjoying this, and with the way the crowds have been, and with maybe free agents seeing the way the Phillies are playing, like I think they could have a very successful offseason on top of this because of everything that's happened. So it's a win-win, really.
Yeah, if you're a middle infielder / corner infielder, if you're like a 2 starter or 3 starter, like Carlos Rodon, like we're not getting in the offseason stuff at all, no.
No.
But like if you're these guys and you see like this, and you see an owner that wants to pay, like, we're here. We're a sleeping
Yeah.
giant and we're awake.
Yeah. I mean, it's time. So the last thing I ask before we go, because this is getting long and I can barely talk. I'm sick, and this is the second podcast I've done today. Okay, cut me some slack. I'm asking everybody to not use trash cans this week. Use a bag. Okay.
Okay.
All right. We're not screwing with any trash cans for the next 2 weeks, and also don't look at the sky either. Space is stupid. NASA's stupid. Yeah. So that's where I'm at.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Let them
Anything
use
else?
trash cans. They're gonna need it.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
I got nothing.
You got
All right.
nothing? All right. I need to end this because I can barely talk. All right.
Yeah.
People watch this video. Please, why does my video of Penn State losing to Michigan by 40,000 points get 2,000 views and then nothing else gets anything? Okay, watch this video.
Because
It's fun.
they want to see the pain. They want to see
I know.
the pain.
This is fun. Watch this, please. We're funny. Okay. All right. We'll talk to you. I don't know. We might have to do like a middle series thing for like 20 minutes if it's interesting, I feel like. But
Yeah, that's fine.
yeah, we will talk. We will talk soon. All right. We'll see you then.
See ya.